What's up, everyone? Another installment of Holden's Take here. I'm joined by nobody today, unfortunately, but hopefully next week we might have someone else start talking about the NBA with me. Short podcast today. Um, Trade deadline just finished. Lots of good trades happened, in my opinion. First trade I want to talk about is the Tobias Harris trade to Philadelphia. I think this is a great trade. In my opinion, I think now the 76ers are the front runners. And also, I want to bring up this point. I think Tobias Harris is a really great player. I don't know if he's going to improve. He's been improving, but I don't know if this is his peak. Um, I also because just think about this lineup. You have Redick. Well, you have Ben Simmons at the point, Redick, the two, Jimmy Butler at the three, Tobias at the four, and Embiid at the five. That's a really good lineup. And Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, they're going to have a lot of success driving to the rim. Ben Simmons already does, especially when they get a full head of steam. Because I can't think of many players who can stop Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris once they get a full head of steam and they're going to the basket. I think that's going to be. I think they're the front runners now for the East. I could see them. I don't know if I could see them going to the finals now, just because they're such a young team. But I think we should definitely watch out for them. Thon Maker traded to Detroit. I like Thon Maker. I think he was like a 14th pick. I remember he was the drafted the same year Brogdon was. But I mean, he hasn't really had. He's played, but he just hasn't had like significant minutes. And hopefully in Detroit, he can, backing up Andre Drummond. And Stanley Johnson was sent to the Bucks. I like him. He hasn't been everything that we hoped. A former lottery pick. Also, actually, let me look this up because I know they were nearing a trade, but I wonder if the trade actually went through. Okay, so the Heat did trade Wayne Ellington and Tyler Johnson in exchange for Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson, not like the best player. Because I don't know what the Heat are trying to do. I don't know if they're actually trying to make a run for the playoffs or not. But Tyler Johnson, he's an okay player. I think Wayne Ellington is actually going to be cut. I read somewhere. I thought I read somewhere he's possibility. There's a possibility that he will be seeking a buyout or waived. I'm seeing that the Golden State Warriors and Lakers are thinking about getting him. Speaking of the Lakers, they traded Michael Beasley and Ivica Zubac, one of my favorite players. Unfortunately, now he's a Clipper. They traded him for Mike Muscala. He's a center. He can shoot. And this also leaves an open roster spot. So Carmelo Anthony, Wayne Ellington, other guys who might get waived or cut. So that's happened so far in the trade deadline. A lot of other trades happened. There was a three-team trade. Amon Shepard's now gonna be a Rocket. I think Amon Shepard's really underrated. He was good in New York. He was all right in Cleveland. He's been quiet with the Kings, but he's also a very young player. He's about 24, 25. So I think he can still provide some decent minutes. Maybe about 10 points a game, maybe. So I think him being added to the Rockets is very nice. One of the bigger trades from today was Markelle Fultz traded to the Magic. I don't know how to feel about this trade. I like it. I like it they got rid of him because they don't need him. The 76ers don't need Markelle Fultz. He's not what they wanted. He's barely even played. They traded for Jonathan Simmons. Y'all remember him? He played for Kawhi Leonard. When Kawhi Leonard got hurt, he was a good player, then got paid $10 million. 3-year contract, $30 million for the Magic. So I think he's a little overpaid just from that one playoff series. That's why he's being paid so much. But Jonathan Simmons is a shooter. I like him. His story is great. Paid money to try out for the G League for the Spurs or their Drew League team. He made it. Then he became a starter once Kawhi got down, and now he's making $30 million. So I don't know. At first, I thought it was Jonathan Isaac that got traded. I was like, wow, what a steal that was. Because I like Jonathan Isaac. He's about 6'7", 6'9", Kevin Durant type body, and he's young. So I was like, wow, 76ers got a steal in that trade. I think one of the biggest trades today also was Toronto getting Marc Gasol. I think that is amazing. That's a huge upgrade from Jonas Valanciunas. They also traded to Memphis Delon Wright and C.J. Miles. I'm fine with C.J. Miles going, but Delon Wright's a good player. He's really underrated for them, too. I mean, it would be one thing if they traded OG Anunoby or Pascal Siakam or Fred VanVleet. I'm just glad they didn't trade any of those, but Delon Wright's a really good, underrated player. I also thought it was funny that Harrison Barnes was traded mid-game, and I've seen reports that the Kings would like to sign an extension with him. Justin Jackson, Zach Randolph for Harrison Barnes. Justin Jackson from UNC as well, like Harrison Barnes. Zach Randolph, apparently, I've seen reports that he may be cut or released. Just look it up right now so I can give you guys the actual details. He's likely to be bought out from the Mavericks. He's an old player. I mean, he can still put up some points, but I mean, the trend with the Mavericks are having now is young players, and he doesn't fit that. I know Avery Bradley was traded. Forget for who. I'm sorry for this horrible podcast. It's just being done on the fly right now because I was going to record Wednesday. I was going to record Tuesday, but that never happened because of problems coming up. But because I wanted to talk about the Super Bowl, which there isn't much to talk about. I mean, it was a defensive game. I don't hate Brady anymore. I think he's an amazing quarterback. I can't hate greatness, but I do question some of the things he's done. And now we just have to wait for the next football season, which is one of the longest times and most painful times. Things I want to look out for, though, in the NFL this offseason is I'm really interested in the Steelers. I really would like to see what they do. I think Le'Veon Bell is good as gone. You know, they got James Conner. I really want them to trade Antonio Brown. You got Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm worried about Juju because he's young and he's not been corrupt yet by the team with no leadership. He's a great kid. I don't want anything bad to happen to him or get the attitude that Antonio Brown had. I think they should trade Big Ben, but I mean, people are going to call me stupid for that, but I think they need to blow the team up. And they need to fire Mike Tomlin, and they need to fire someone who really has the leadership mentality, because nobody is a leader on that team. Last leader they had was what? Not TJ. Troy Polamalu or Hines Ward? Like, seriously, they haven't had a leader on that team since both of them retired. College basketball, I don't think I'm going to be talking about college basketball this season. I'm going to wait till next year just because I know a lot about the ACC, but I don't know much about the other conferences, and I'd like to get into that. But March Madness, I will be doing a lot of coverage on that. I will be going to the ACC tournament in Charlotte this year, so I will actually be trying to do like daily vlogs there. Just before every game, I give you like a little preview of the game, my take on it, players to watch out for, a prediction. So it'll be like a little 30-second or a minute video that I'll post on the Facebook and Instagram accounts. Be sure to check those out. Next week I might next week there will be a podcast, but it may just be me, or I will be having someone on it that you guys don't know about yet. But hopefully one will come out tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next week. But short podcast today, like I said. I apologize if this podcast is not what you guys wanted it to be, but I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week.